Hello ladies and gentlemen. Today we need to replace some cab shocks. As you can see, they are leaking. Not really looking forward to this job. It's kind of a tight space. It can be a pain. The last time I did this, I had to torch on them to get them off. I did use Never Seez, so hopefully this time they'll come right off. Been putting this off for a while because I didn't really want to do it, but the shock replacement fairy never came along and did it for me, so I'm already dirty today from working on the truck, so I guess it's time to get it done. I'm just going to show you one side here. The other side's identical, just in reverse. These style kind of suck. They're underneath the cab. The newer ones, they're outside the cab here. They mount here and then to the frame. So much easier. I wish they could have done that in the first place. I attribute these blown shocks to the lovely roads in the state of Indiana. Put on a lot of miles there, and not long ago I hit a bump. I think it was a set of railroad tracks that I thought broke the doggone truck in half. And turns out I blew a steer shock, both cab shocks, and a drive shock. And not long after that, one day I saw a guy stopped on the side of the road near those tracks, and he had busted off his power steering reservoir. Someday I'm going to do a YouTube video driving across Indiana. The politicians in Indiana, somebody needs should be in jail for the condition of their roads. I used to think Michigan was bad, but Indiana really takes the cake lately. So I'm going to position the camera here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. How's that? That looks pretty good. These are 11/16 nuts on here. I'm not going to be able to use the impact necessarily on all of it because of the tight spot, but we'll give her a shot here. I'll have to fish that out of there. I need a screwdriver. Alright, so the bottom nut washer are off. Gotta get my nut out of the socket here. After hours on a weekend, so I'm not going to be able to get new hardware for this. I'll definitely do it next time though. So here's the pain in the butt part. You gotta get the bottom faces side to side. The front, or the top rather, is front to back. And wouldn't you know it, it's a different size nut and everything. So I'll pause the camera here and dig out my other sockets. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Turns out these are 3/4 inch on the top. So we'll get that buzzed off here. Come on, you bugger. I'm gonna need a wobble extension because this doesn't want to fit up in there. This is a wobble extension. It just allows your socket to pivot around. Gives you the ability to get in some tight spaces that you may not otherwise be able to get into. Alright, now let's see if we can get her up in there. Here we go. Okay, there's our washer. and our bolt. Now the bolt on the bottom is going to want to tend to stay with the truck, and that's just fine. We don't have a problem leaving it there. It kind of goes through the frame rail. So this can be tricky to get off here because the bottom is facing one way, top's facing another way. So it's not just a matter of pulling it off. We're gonna hammer this old one off of here. Yeah. Oh, that actually came off not too bad. Now you don't really have to support the cab, it's not going to come down on you. Still got your airbags and another shock on the other side supporting it, and you'll notice the cab didn't even move, didn't even flinch, so don't worry about that. Unless of course your truck is set up differently. This is a Freightliner Columbia, just for reference. So here's our new one, nice and shiny. We're still gonna go ahead and put Never-Seez on. It obviously works because last time, like I said, I had to use a torch on these. That really sucked. I am so upset that day. Okay. Now the new one, we are not going to beat on with a hammer. We might tap on it tiny bit, but we don't want to do anything to cause the shock to rupture or leak right off the bat and all that happy stuff. So like I said, the two ends face a different way. This one faces this way, this one faces this way. This can be tricky. Gonna need a little bit of muscle to it and a little bit of luck. Nah. My gosh, we almost got her. Let's start our top bolt here. Okay, we got that lined up. Now the bottom. We almost got it. It's just a matter of getting it on there. So here's a part where we might tap it just a little. We're not gonna beat on the cylinder part. Tap down here at the bottom. We're just trying to get it up the bolt. It is a super tight fit, and don't feel bad if it takes you a while. Try not to hit the bolt. You don't want to mess up the threads. Surrounding the hole on the shock is just rubber, so you can tap on that part. It'll be okay. Let's see if we can get the nut started here, and then we can the impact gun might draw that on the rest of the way, which would be really nice. This is actually going really well compared to the last time. Guess I should have videoed that, but I didn't have her camera and wasn't doing all this back then. So okay, we got to switch back to our 11/16 for the bottom. You'll see me using this 1/2-inch DeWalt impact gun in a lot of videos. One of the best investments I ever made. If you buy one, you're going to find yourself using it all the time. It makes life and jobs so much easier. It was on sale for $220. Came with the gun, this 5 amp-hour battery, as you can see here, and then it came with a charger and a carrying case. So it wasn't too bad. I'm not a die-hard DeWalt guy or any kind of, you know, Milwaukee or Snap-on or anything. Buy what you can afford and learn to use it. You know, they all do a good job. Heck, if you can only afford Harbor Freight, then buy Harbor Freight. They're not, you know, always the best. Their hand tools are really good. I've had, you know, some of their power tools kind of let me down, but you get what you can afford. You don't need a $10,000 toolbox and a whole drawer of Snap-on stuff. I'm not a professional mechanic. We're just doing light repairs here. So we're ready to tighten up this top one here. Once again, this is 3/4 inch. Now these bolts are even smaller. This impact gun is very powerful. It'll tighten up to like 800 foot-pounds and break loose like 1100 pounds. So we're just doing small, you know, 3/8 probably bolts here. So just be careful. You will snap that sucker off if you sit there and let this gun pound on it. So just get it tight, and that's it, Jack. We're just gonna check these by hand. That's it. So let me just show you up under here. We have the wrench on this side, gun on that side. You know, this down here, it faces this way. So we're in business. We did a good job, and that's it. The other side is exactly the same. Only difference is you got that exhaust to work around a little bit. Can be a little more of a pain, but it's not terrible. So, all right, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll be making another video here for you shortly.